of programming with Isaac. This is our React series. So in the last video we took a look at setting up our React project and then our basic React structure. We took a look at the node modules folder, the public folder, the src, and then the various files that come with our bootstrap project. So to continue from there, we are going to work on a simple application today to give us the hands-on experience for building React applications. So today's application is going to be just a simple contact list application. You'll be taking part of it by yourself. However, I will guide you through the major part and you will apply your pre-acquired programming skills to create something nice. So let's take a look at the UI that we have here. So we have this. So we have this here, which is just simple UI that we'll be working with. However, this is not all. We'll be working on another one as well, which is the bigger version, or a contact card. So all this play right into our app for today, which is pretty simple. So all I did earlier was just create a React project using Vite and installed the Tailwind CSS library. And to do that, it's pretty simple. All we need is just run these commands on your screen currently. I'll list them in the video description as well, and have Tailwind running on your system. However, you do need to make some changes in your index file, the index.css, because it affects the entire styling of your application, as well as the generated Tailwind config file. We need to add the content for this particular config. And that being said, let's head right into it. So basically, React allows us to focus on components that make up our platform. So in this particular application, where we have a contact list, we have, if I can get this right, we have this contact list here, and we can break it down into various sections. So let's just take it to the drawing board and then break it down. So first off, what I can see is we have a list. So we have a list of cards. And these cards seem pretty similar, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and these cards can be grouped as components. We can take this card to be component 1, this is component 2, and then we can have multiple components in there. We do have a sidebar, a nice title there, which was the contact list title over there. Then we had a search input field here as well. So we are going to take all these things into consideration and then quickly see how we can develop this UI. If you are coming from an HTML based background, you may notice some differences here, since we will not be rendering out everything in one index file or maybe one HTML file. However, we'll be building them based on components and then their functionalities. And that being said, I believe we can start and then get this done. So first off, I'm going to create a components folder in my project. So I'm just going to create a components folder, components, and then that will be it for now. So what Tailwind does, for those of you who don't know Tailwind, it allows me to write simple CSS right in my code without having to write actual CSS. So you can look that up and try your hands on it as well. However, in this video we are going to, or in this series, we are going to solely focus on building React applications. And let's dive right in. So first off, I'm going to get my, sorry about that. Yeah, so first off, I'm going to get this particular field, as I'm going to get this particular form of sorts, or this list view in the middle of the screen. You need to create an element for it, or a component for it if you want, if we want to. So I am going to put that in the middle of the screen. I won't create a direct component for it, however we'll see the creation of components later. So with this, I can quickly have my background. And have that in there. So let's check this if we have something in our UI, and there we go, we have something, but it's not scaled nicely. So let's just work on scaling it. Let's see how best we can do that. I'm just going to give it a nice padding of 10, and we should see that we have something similar. However, the gray is too gray in a sense, so I'm just going to reduce that to give us a nice shade of gray. I think this is okay. So there we have it. We have our first part in play, and the next thing in the application is going to be this particular headers, which is the contact list text, and then this search bar here, or yeah, basically this search input field here. The colors are I think we can still go with the gray version. We'll try as much as possible to have the same UI here. So the next thing I'll be doing is to create a component in my components folder, and I'm going to name it header.jsx. And the last video we installed some snippet extensions, and that's where I'm getting this from. So I have my React functional components, and quickly remove this, and all I have to do is just type in what I need here and then style it properly. So first I need a text, and put that in an H1. So let's say programming with Isaac. We have that, and then we are going to have a simple input box with a text search. So we are not going to do anything fancy here. We are just going to have an input box there. Type that, and let's give it a name, search I won't be giving this an ID, but I will be styling it right here. So have rounded, I want rounded corners, I want a border of 1, sorry, border of 2, I want that's padding on the sides to be 2, I want padding top and bottom to be 2 as well. We want the width, I want to give it a width of 20, and I believe that should do. The border should have let's say a color of gray, 500. This is okay. However, when we take a look at our form, we don't see that there. The reason is we have to add our components to wherever we need to call our components wherever we need it. So that's what we are going to do here. What I normally do for my components, I don't want to have to call my components separately every single time I need to. So I just create an index.js file, an index file here that allows me to that gives me access to all the components here in the components folder. So I'm going to export every component that I have here in this particular folder. So I'm just going to header, and I have that exported, and that makes the code a bit cleaner, since I don't have to make I don't have to have multiple import statements. I just need to have one, and that is good for me. We do not need the CSS, though we can just quickly take that off because we do not need it. Well, we are working in the app.js, sorry. So the next thing we do is to call our component, which is the header. So a simple header, and we should have that showing up. So we have programming with Isaac here in our input box here, which is really simple, zero styling. Yeah, it doesn't really show much styling. However, we can do more here, we can do better. So I'm going to add some CSS to this. So I want it to display as I want to set it to display to flex, and justify content set to between, so they can move to the edges of its parent, and I believe that alone should give us some nice view. And for the width here, I'm going to increase this width, so I will be make it 3 out of 6, so it becomes a bit longer, which is okay with me. And since our rounding isn't so visible, so I'm going to make a rounded full, so you can have that visibility over there. Then the text as well, let's make it a bit bolder. Let's make this one a bit bolder, so that you have text. I need it to be semi-bold. That's font semi-bold. Then text, let's make it a bit large, and make the text have a subtle gray color, not a shiny black color. So this, I believe, is okay. However, our content is not necessarily centered properly, so I'm just going to have it centered within itself vertically properly. Yeah, and we need a placeholder text for our input box, so I'm just going to add a placeholder here called search, and I believe it's already looking nice when we take a look at the sample. So we have that. However, we do not have padding at the top there, so we'll quickly add some padding there, and get that done. So the padding, in this case, we will be adding it to our little box here. Let me just write a quick comment here. We have let me just have that there. So we are going to add font padding of 3 on the horizontal axis and then a padding of 4 on the vertical axis. So there we have it, really looking nice. I don't think 3 is enough, so let me just make it 5. Yes, and we have something to work with. I believe this is okay. And then the next thing that we are going to take a look at is these cards here. So when we take a look at one of these cards, we see there are multiple things in there, We have an image, a light text, a bigger text, and 2 icons over here. So this is where CSS kicks in, and then we use it to style this properly. So I'm going to go back to the drawing board and we take a look at all that's done here. Yeah, so quickly clean all of this. So yeah, so we have an image in there, so I'm just going to sorry about that, let me clean that quickly. So we have an image in there. Sorry, I keep on forgetting the shortcuts for this. So we have an image, we have some text, we do have another text, and then we have 2 icons on the side here, just 2 tiny icons. 3 components, so 3 elements, and they are all in a single box. So let's quickly create a component that would accomplish that first. So I'm going to switch back to my code editor, go back to my components, create a component called contact card. That's contact list item, and quickly create. So when we take a look at the structure, the skeleton over here, we have an image, we have a text box, text views here, as well as 2 buttons over there. So essentially we have an image over there. We also have a text thing, so let's say we do have H1 there, and we do have H2 as well. Then we have buttons, so these buttons, we're going to put them also in another div. So we have button, 2 of those, we have 2 separate buttons. So let's say this one is mail, this one is phone. So currently we can't view that in our main page unless we call it over here, but before that let's import it here. So we just have contact list item, and that is quickly done. So we can go to our apps, the JSX, and quickly call that over there. So I'm going to put that in another div and just call it, so contact list item. We have contact list item, and Let's see how it looks. So there we have it. We don't have any text in our H1s and H2. So let me quickly, let's say John Isaac. And let's check it. We have this there. And for the image, I am